Hello and welcome to Just Be Handy. I was going to put this tank together and I thought I would share with you guys how this 10-liter tank for my diesel heater will go together and what I will do to modify a few things. Inside the tank was this little care package bag which had the exit nipple for the tank with a couple of O-rings, and you basically have to drill one of the two pads that they give you depending on how you want to mount this tank and get the fuel out of it. I'm going to put it on this side so that there will be some fuel down here, but it will be all the junk that may be falling in here, any water. I'll be able to see the water level at the bottom, and then I could get rid of it later and not have to mess up my diesel heater. And another thing is, with it being here, I can mount this flush to the floor of whatever I build to hold the tank and not worry about the spigot coming out of the bottom. Another good feature is that if I do run out of gas and I need this extra volume of fuel or the diesel fuel, I can always tilt the tank and bring it to the bottom and bring more of that fuel in. All this had in here were those two O-rings and that nipple spigot for the fuel to get out, and then these to fasten to a sheet metal. Basically, they were looking to fasten it to an RV or frame or something for this tank. Anyways, we'll put these to the side. The tools that you'll need to do this, something to fish it through. I'm going to use a thermostat wire because it's nice and stiff and I can fish it in. And also, I found that using this 2-wire, it'll fit into the nipple or the spout here, and I can then bend it once I get it through and then pull through whatever hole I make. I wanted a drill bit that's just larger than this tip here, but not as big as the thread. So I found that a 1/4-inch drill will work just fine. And then the nut on this one is a 12 millimeter. So once this goes through, I'll put the 12 millimeter nut on it and put it through. I'll make sure the 12 millimeter nut is on this side when I pull. Then when it gets started, I have my handy dandy Ace vice grips here to hold this tip in place, and I measured it so it doesn't crush, but it holds firm so that I can get it tightened. If I need it tighter than what this does to crush these O-rings, this one being on the side of the nut and this one being on this side of the spout, then I will hold it a little tighter and go from the side. But that's going to be what I end up doing to make sure that I center the hole. I took this guy here, put him down, and then made sure it was not going to be on this edge of the molded plastic where it came together. I then made a Sharpie mark and then put an X through it so I know where the center is. Now I know where to punch my hole, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm a righty, so I'll have to do it this way. There you go. And then we'll make sure this thing can, see the threads hold it. So once I get it there, I'm going to turn it with the vice grip till it comes out. And then I know I've got a good seal. but this tip goes right through and I can get the wire through. So now I'll get everything on the wire correctly and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay guys, if you will notice here at my hand, I have the O-ring and the nut on this side, and then on the other side I have the spout with the O-ring here, and then this is slightly bent. It's so stiff it's going to hold it in place, and then we've got the O-ring here. So I'm going to pull this through and then try to spin that through now. And see how it came through? It came right through, so then I'm going to twist it as I pull. Okay guys, I pulled this through. What I did is I got a pair of pliers and I rotated this tip counterclockwise till it bit into the plastic and got through. Now with this 12 millimeter, I brought the gasket and that nut over. Now with this 12 millimeter, I can start pulling the thread through. And you can see now it's all spinning because the gaskets are coming together. So I can pull this out of the way. You see that? And then I can hold it with these vice grips while I tighten that up. I'm going to back it up a little bit here. And you'll get it nice and finger tight, but then if after you test it, if it's leaking, you can always tighten it up. Here we go. It's basically finger tight now. All right. So that's what it'll look like. And it's coming out the side. So one of the things I wanted to do was to not only utilize the strainer that they give, but you can see it is a big mesh strainer and will let a lot through. So I wanted to also utilize one of these paper type filters with the magnet in it. And the way you know that the flow is, the flow is in the larger compartment so that it could fill up with more crud in here, and then it goes through to the middle and then out. Same thing with these paper. Fuel goes into the middle. The magnet can hold on to things. That whole top plate becomes magnetized, and then fuel flows through the paper and out. I also wanted to put a valve on it right away, and this extra hose and these clamps came as a kit. So I'll put that in the description below if you want to do the same thing. But this was the strainer that came with the diesel heater that I bought, but I thought I'd also put a paper type filter on here. And I was able to get everything on. I've got the fuel valve on, I've got that strainer, and then the other paper filter. One thing I didn't like about these fuel valves is these are brass, and the first one, I didn't know any better, but I just went and actuated it, and it was stiff, and it cracked right there. So I still will put this kit in the description below because it was reasonably priced, but just keep in mind these are stiff when you first get them. So what I would recommend is to get your pliers and put them at the end and then actuate them a few times so that you can then turn them without getting that crack. So I ended up using the other valve because I did the same thing. I rotated it with the pliers, so now I know that's good. But if we do get any leakage, it might be here and it might be here, and we can go ahead and tighten this one up, and this is just finger tight till it stops. But this is basically it. Now I can put that white hose or that clear hose through here and tighten this clamp. That's about it, guys. This is the fuel tank, and then I'll be able to mount it and then get it going for my diesel heater. Just again, this is a big mesh that will catch the big stuff. This has the magnet and paper here, and then I've got a fuel shutoff in case I want to do any maintenance to the tank or anything else. I can shut the fuel off, disconnect, take the tank away without it spilling fuel everywhere, and dispose of fuel or clean it out, whatever I need to do. This hose was also very easy to cut with just good old kitchen shears that I had laying around, so that was another good thing. It goes very quickly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up. I'll put a description in the description below where you can get this kit. Hope you enjoyed. Please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. Could definitely use more members. And I'd love your comments and feedback. God bless.